If you've been following the news about Bitcoin, you probably noticed that it's the most popular digital currency in existence. The main difference between Bitcoin and traditional currencies is that Bitcoins are decentralized. This means that there is no central bank or administrator, so you can send and receive Bitcoins from other users without going through any third parties. This is the most important benefit of Bitcoin, as it makes the entire process of using it very convenient and secure. Bitcoins are issued in blocks that are stored in a chain. The blocks are added one by one in chronological order, which makes it very difficult for a single user to steal the chain. This technology, called blockchain, is what underpins Bitcoin and has received considerable attention from skeptics. It allows for trustworthy record keeping and commerce without the need for a central authority. There are no central banks, which means that the currency is completely decentralized, but it is quite easy to use. The primary reason for Bitcoin's success is that it has many uses. Aside from being a form of alternative payment, it can be used for personal or business transactions. For example, people can use Bitcoins to make purchases and payments at online stores. In addition, it can be used as a tool to pay bills and buy goods. Some even use it to pay their electricity bills. This is a great way to keep your finances organized. There are many great benefits to Bitcoin. The main benefit is that it is private and secure, which means it is not subject to government interference or manipulation. This makes Bitcoins the perfect way to send and receive value and exchange information. In addition to being private and secure, Bitcoins can be easily moved around from the world and are completely divisible, which makes them a valuable tool in business. To buy Bitcoin, you can use an online exchange called Coinbase. Using a public and private key, your transaction is completely secured. Bitcoin is a digital currency based on the blockchain. The blockchain is a linked database of data that is available worldwide. Each block is made up of many units known as blocks. A block contains a date and time. A transactional took place, the total value, and the unique identification code of each party. The information is recorded chronologically and forms a digital chain. The chain is consistently growing, and its value will continue to rise in the coming years. Bitcoin is similar to the internet for money. It can be exchanged for goods and services and is a portable and secure digital asset. Because of its anonymity and lack of central authority, it is a good option for people who want to trade a lot of goods and services without fear of being regulated or compromised. The most common way to buy Bitcoin is through an online exchange such as Coinbase. It stores your private and public keys. The Bitcoin community is also growing quickly. This means that the currency can become the next currency in your wallet. This is an excellent way to make payments and save money. Unlike other digital currencies, it can be used anywhere you would spend cash. It is also legal and is accepted by many companies. If you like to purchase Bitcoin, you can make payments and make charitable donations and more. You can even purchase goods and services with Bitcoin. Just like other currencies, Bitcoin have their unique characteristics and value. These traits make it a great means of payment and storage of value. Its limited supply of 21 million Bitcoins makes it highly popular. It's not just for people. For instance, the government of Switzerland will soon accept the currency for tax payment purposes. If you're interested in buying Bitcoin, you'll need to start with an online exchange. Those who want to trade Bitcoin usually able to do it with anonymity, so you can be private and secure. Whether you're looking for a new currency or just want to know how it works, a Bitcoin is like the internet for money. The network is purely digital and it runs around the clock. This means it's a great way to share data and a great way to save and invest. It is also a great way to get involved with the space exploration industry. There are plenty of companies that accept it as the virtual currency of choice. The only way to get a truly useful amount of money is by creating wealth. The only way to get a truly useful amount of money is by creating wealth, not by taking it from someone else. And the only way to create wealth is by working harder than everyone else. There are two ways to get rich: make more money or want less. To get really rich is a pretty tricky situation. But in practice, people mostly work on one of these two things. They either work on making more money or they work on spending less of it. Most of the people in the room I'm in right now seem to be focused on making more money. I'm going to argue that you're doing it wrong. You can get rich by solely focusing on making money, but you're having an easier time focusing instead on making meaning. Why? Because when you focus on making meaning over making money, the process of which can be frustrating and cynical unless some lucky accident happens along the way and puts enough cash in your pocket that you can quit worrying about money for a while and focus instead on something more interesting. Most people are not used to an economy where you can be paid millions of dollars for inventing a new cryptocurrency or even a new application that runs on an existing one. It's not surprising it took so long for us to invent something like this. The feeling doesn't fit into any of our existing categories. Here is what the feeling feels like. I'll use a made-up example, but you can only substitute your own if you have one. When building a startup, you have to think about two things: how hard it will be to build and how valuable it will be if you succeed. Ideally, you want both dimensions to be high. But if you have to choose one or the other, choose the second. Both dimensions are hard to predict in advance, but when people try, they usually focus on the first. Is this idea technically feasible? Do we have people smart enough to build it? How long will it take? And then based on their answers, they decide which projects will work. This is sensible up to a point, but there can be another way that things can work. The next big thing would be a digital currency that is so good at being a currency that it became a de facto word currency. This would be a huge deal. And the biggest beneficiary of this semantic scheme may be Bitcoin, which is already trying to become the universal world currency. Bitcoin is a big deal. It's a new king of money, a new kind of money, one that ordinary people anywhere can use without needing banks or credit cards. It's like cash for the internet, and it's only going to get bigger. But despite this potential, I think the hype around Bitcoin has occurred an important point. There will be probably lots of successful cryptocurrencies in the future. Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that is monitored by a network of computers across the globe. It's designed to be anonymous, secure, and untraceable. Cryptocurrency uses cryptography for security, which makes it difficult to counterfeit. Cryptocurrency's main benefit is the ability to store value and make payments without the use of banks or governments. It's also fast, cheap, and anonymous. While all transactions are public, the names of buyers and sellers are not revealed, only their digital wallet. The main drawback of cryptocurrency is that it's not as widely accepted as cash or credit cards. Cryptocurrencies will need to overcome this setback before they could compete with conventional currencies. The most important advantage of cryptocurrencies, which I see, is the potential to increase the financial freedom of people living in countries with oppressed monetary policy and weak rule of law. Bitcoin allows anyone who has a phone and internet access to hold and send money without permission from any centralized authority such as a bank or government. With Bitcoin, you are your own bank. If you want to send money to someone, you don't need to ask for permission, you just transfer it to their address. Until recently, this was not possible. Let's talk about countries like Venezuela, which have high inflation rates and weak rule of law. It's difficult or impossible to open bank accounts there, and if you have money in one already, the Venezuelan government might seize it and transfer it to one of their supporters. Many Venezuelans use cryptocurrencies because it's the only way you can store money that is protected from hyperinflation and state seizure. But there are many other advantages of cryptocurrencies besides making life easier for people living in developing countries. Bitcoin can be sent anywhere in the world within minutes, sometimes seconds, at almost no cost. This makes international trade easier and more secure than before. Cryptocurrencies are permissionless. Of course, you do not need permission from anyone to send or receive them. So when we look at these ideas of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, we can see where the future is heading. Cryptocurrency, which can be bought for cash and sold as deliverables based on their expected future value. The key difference between a cryptocurrency and other financial aspects is that cryptocurrencies have no physical value and rise and fall on a volatile supply and demand cycle. As a result, there is little certainty as to where the supply and demand will end. Many people invest in cryptocurrency without even knowing what it is. But before you start using one, you should learn about how they are used and why you should consider getting involved. First, it's important to set up an account with a cryptocurrency exchange to buy and sell your coins. Most miners and developers will sell some of their coins and mine to cover expenses and keep the project running. Once you have an account, you can trade and buy cryptocurrencies immediately. To get started, you need to set up your cryptocurrency. Most cryptocurrency exchanges can be used on smartphones. You can buy, sell, and store cryptocurrencies using these apps. You just need to download an app for your smartphone and connect it to your bank account to get started. This makes the process simple and fast. The first thing you need to do is download the app and enter some basic personal information. Once you have your account set up, you can begin trading. After you begin trading, buying and selling, you're an amateur. You can use your choice of exchange on coins and cryptocurrency exchanges. You need to have a bank account. Before you can start trading, you also can exchange and store your crypto. You can also buy it through an online store. If you want to trade your currency exchange, you need to know how to do this. Cryptocurrency exchanges have some drawbacks. The prices of digital currencies can be volatile and fluctuate so wildly that it can lead to collapse. Like, for example, the Mt. Gox in February 2018 led Bitcoin's price plummeting down 50%. Unfortunately, cryptocurrency exchanges have a high risk of hacking, so it's best to invest conservatively and carefully. You'll find it's not worth it to invest in the currency in the first place if you don't do it wisely. The value of cryptocurrency is a major concern for the industry. It's hard to determine exactly what cryptocurrency is worth, and the market is flooded with countless cryptocurrencies. Despite this, the most popular ones have a relatively stable value. The most popular cryptocurrency is Bitcoin, which was worth only pennies on the dollar in 2010, but now averaged about 60,000 a coin. This is because the demand of cryptocurrencies is increasing. When the supply is decreasing, keep this in mind because you want to keep a good eye out for scams and how you can lose your money in the market. Another important benefit of cryptocurrencies is that they can be used for payments. They can be used without worry of bank and credit card fees. In addition to this, it can be easily converted into other currencies. It's also available for sale and exchange for other items and services. A key characteristic of the cryptocurrency is its decentralization. The currency is owned and maintained by its users. The government doesn't own the coins, and therefore it can be difficult for a cryptocurrency to be traced. A blockchain is an online database that is designed to store all the currency's history. Because of this, the blockchain is a database of the transactions made in it. In addition to their decentralized nature, cryptocurrencies are not backed by any central authority, and there is no guarantee that they will be legal in the future. The risk associated with cryptocurrencies are often too high for the average consumer to invest. In addition to this, it's not easy to track the value of cryptocurrencies. That means it's important to protect your money in case of fraud. If you haven't already, make sure that you keep it safe. So I hope this has been helpful for you to get started with cryptocurrency.